Well, I'll be the first pessimistic guy, maybe the only one, and the first one who doesn't speak really good English with a terrible French accent. So please excuse me. First, I'm not pessimistic about the internet, but I have a few concerns. So I'm not Andrew Keane. I won't tell it that the internet is changing everything for the worst. But I'm concerned about a little bit of things that are happening here. Like many here, I'm an activist. I'm a consultant. I help people have their causes heard. I try to help them spread the message, engage people online, and like many others, I do this by trying to find, viruses that go through our ecosystem and spread and get into people's minds. Many times it doesn't work like everybody, but sometimes it works. What concerns me today in our ecosystem is that sometimes it works well. We have many stories of, this little blogger who's made the news and changed people's or a political agenda. We have very positive news about this. We have had some in Sweden recently, but we also have bad news about it, and I want to try to look at it. I don't know if you know this guy. I must say that the photo is not very nice, but he's a real guy. His name is Terry Jones. You might have heard of him in the past few weeks. This guy, he runs a very small church in Florida. It's basically, he calls it a church, but it's like a very small church, a few hundred people, a few cars. You can go and see what it looks like on Google Maps. I mean, it's really nothing. This guy has one cause. His cause is that, as you can see on this video, homemade video, absolutely of no interest, Islam is of the devil. Islam is the worst thing on earth and is responsible for any issue on earth. Before, he had absolutely no audience. The guy is a total extremist. He doesn't know how to speak. He makes quite funny homemade videos, like with special effects, and he gets absolutely no reach out, only like 1,000 or 2,000 views on each video on YouTube. But at the beginning of the month of September, this guy it was the most successful social media campaign of 2010 nearly, because he really engaged people against him or with him, and he really framed the global agenda. He had people in the streets in Pakistan, in Egypt, in Morocco, in Algeria, demonstrating with him or against him, burning flags and so on. He even had the President of the United States making a public statement on what he proposed. What he proposed, well, he knew it. It was to burn the Quran on September 11. This was a mad proposal. So, you know how we can react on this little story by saying, blame it on the media. Media are stupid. Media just raised these absolutely stupid people. It's from the ecosystem. Actually, it's not. The circulation of his information is really interesting because this guy engaged people online. He has a community of people. They try to reach out. They didn't get the media. They didn't get other people. They got extremist Islamist people from Egypt and Morocco. And these people spread the word online. And then it went out. And it went up because they were demonstrating online with Facebook groups, with videos, and so on. And then it went global because, well, the idea was stupid enough to make a global agenda for a few days. My point is, this is quite new. And Terry Jones Terry Jones is not somebody from the media. He's a very typical figure of what we know online. He's what we call online communities a troll. I don't know if you know, all of you, what a troll is. I assume that many of you know it. He's the guy, I have the Wikipedia definition. It's someone who who posts inflammatory, extraneous or off-topic messages in an online community with the primary intent of provoking other users into a desired emotional response. Actually, we all are trolling when we are doing social media campaign. We're trying to provoke some emotions in our publics. The thing is, today, it works in the media because we are at a particular moment. We are at a moment when we are trying to make two cultures converge. That's what I call the Justin Bieber moment. Some people say Obama moment, it's for the positive side of it. But the Justin Bieber moment is Justin Bieber on TV and having 4 million fans on Twitter. The media don't act at us. We are an organic space. We have our own viruses, our own bacteria. Terry Jones is one of our bacteria. He's of evil, but I mean, we can deal with him when we're online. The thing is, the media can be infected by our own viruses. And they don't work like us. They are not the same as us. And they tend to pick what suits to their own organic body that comes from what we are doing. And sometimes, and many times, they take Terry Jones. You can see it in many parts of Europe where populism and extremism that come from online spread very rapidly to the media sphere. And it's very, well, it concerns us because we have our viruses and we know how to deal with it. But if they contaminate the media, it can be very important. I don't want what comes from what we are doing getting up and in a new public sphere being only lolcats and being violent trolls and populists and extremists. The thing is, how can we fight against this? There's no easy fight against extremism and populism. And there's no mediation anymore. We are in a network sphere where there is no gatekeeper. The media used to play the role of gatekeepers and select information and what was useful and what was not. Actually, they're not playing this role anymore because they're picking what's hot, what's spicy, what's interesting and shiny in what we are producing. So it is our responsibility to create our own antidotes and to fight against the Terry Joneses. But it's not easy. So I'll just launch a few ideas, a few questions, a few principles, and let you think about it, because it's our everyday work and it's also the public sphere that we want to create together by merging media culture and social media culture that is important behind this. The first thing is education. We have to educate the media but to understand what is really happening online. And education, you know, sometimes you have to take a stick and snap on the fingers because it won't enter the journalists and the TV minds that Terry Jones is absolutely nothing if you don't fight against the people who show that he is very important, because he's not. He's not. So you have to tell them that it's not important. You have to make them understand what's going online, what's going on, what's happening, and we have to build tools for this. Also, we have to be active counterpowers. That's the main issue and the most difficult one. In Europe, and I talked about it yesterday with many of you, many populist movements lack of active counterpowers that use the same tools, the same media, the same discourse as populists and extremists are. We are really we don't know how to fight, but we have to use the same tools. We have to be active. We have to spread the word with emotion. We have to engage the people. The thing is, moderate people try to stay in a very top-down approach, while populists and extremists try to be very intelligent in using the networks. That's the case in France. That was the case in Sweden, I think. That's the case in Italy. And so we have to think about it. And I think, well, the Tea Party, things like that, lack of counterpowers, people who use the same tools and as efficient. Also, we have to build our own aggregation tools. We all know that in the long term, the media are dead. The thing is, it's in the long term. they will die. Their top-down approach, their non-conversational thing will die. But we have to replace them with something better, because it can happen that, well, we won't replace them with something better, but with something which is only which will only be full of viruses. Well, and then we have to unleash our counter-viruses. This is no vaccine. I have no vaccine. So maybe if any of you have a vaccine, have ideas that can be held online, I think it will be of great help. Well, this was just a short presentation, not by showing something that I had made that was remarkable, but to raise a question and to try to raise consciousness of the fact that we are all together faced with these guys.